Hey guys, it's me, Mr. 250, and welcome back to 999. We're back here in the kitchen, and we are going to continue looking for clues to figure out how to get around this kitchen and look for the fabled door with a 9 on it in hopes to get out, though it's unlikely that it'll happen soon, so for right now we're just looking forward and trying to figure out where to go next. And the last thing that I think we haven't checked yet is this bulletin board. So that is something that I'm going to take a look at right now. It's a note. It's got a bunch of stuff written on it, but it doesn't look like a code or anything like that. Oh, okay. For using the cooking utensils. Sounds suspicious. Okay. It's a bolt. And it's really rusty. Will this even open? We won't know till we try. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's see if you're gonna come out. Dang. No dice. But maybe, with a little oil, maybe we could loosen it up a bit. The bolt is rested in place. It won't budge. Of course. Maybe if I put some oil on it. Hey! Just a little bit of oil and... Come on! Come on, you little son of a... Whoa! Yes! Gotcha! You did it, Jumpy! You're so smart! I wouldn't go with smart, but okay. So let's see what's behind this door. Okay, this is an actual freezer. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat. It's cold in here. What is this place? Likely a freezer? Are you blind? It's a freezer. Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. The freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was in even in a worse situation. No way! That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you. And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in. Whoa, it's really cold in here. White puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver. Hey, you don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this. No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now. But Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth when the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out behind them. I knew something like that was going to happen. I knew it. I thought the other room was a freezer, and so that's why I thought it was going to be that, but this was a freezer, and I knew this was going to happen. In unison, they spun around to find that the door they'd only recently come through was closed. Which is even more sinister considering that it has a bolt on the outside, which means it can be locked from the outside and made unable to exit from the inside. Junpei rushed to the door. Desperately, he grabbed hold of the doorknob. Ow! It was cold, beyond cold. Merely touching was painful. The doorknob had been frozen solid. They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door had ruptured. Water released by the rupture had hit the door and frozen instantly. Santa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door. Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door. She wasted no time in responding. What do you want? What's going on? The door won't open. Try opening it from that side. Please. Fine. If you say so. Hold on. Soon, they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. Then the grunting ceased, and they could hear light panting, as if from exertion. It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out. Wow. Dang it. Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself and was shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest of clothes of any of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies. Anyway, let's find out more. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents. 2 heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good look around this room, okay? Right. They pushed in close to one another and began to search. Okay, so it looks like we're stuck in here. I have the slight sinking suspicion that maybe Lotus isn't as innocent as she seems. Maybe, I don't know. But let's take a look around and see what we can find. Looks like a door of some kind. Okay, so we got some dry ice. Isn't there something special about dry ice? Or no, sorry. The only thing I can think of is you can make fog with it. Not terribly useful. Junpei picked up the dry ice with the sleeves so as to avoid burning himself. Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right? Yeah, it is. I wonder how warm it has to be for it to turn back into gas again. Heck if I know. How is that going to help us anyway? Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here. They were about to move on when June spoke up. Carbon dioxide's sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid. Junpei looked at her, dumbfounded. How do you know that? Hee. Despite my looks, I'm the the queen of random knowledge. Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off. Arglemouth. What? Oh, so you're so cold your mouth's going numb? That's right. You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you? June giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself. Come on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first. Santa was now shivering at an astonishing rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei, however, was not in a mood to discuss science. See, because I was thinking, it does seem kind of odd because... Well, it does seem rather odd. It did seem rather odd to Junpei, and he couldn't help but think about it. June answered. But it can turn into a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns into a liquid if you put it under a high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere normal air pressure, it won't turn into a liquid, right? That's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating, and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one. See, that is weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees, being Fahrenheit in case anyone's confused. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide? June replied with an answer that stunned the both of them. That's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees. Or theirs. I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees. Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees? You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees? Yeah. Well, you should also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees. Water that freezes at 96 degrees? Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees? Junpei was cold as he could imagine, but this was too interesting to ignore. He did his best to warm up by rubbing his arms and stamping his feet, and then put the question to June. So, what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called? I heard it's called Ice 9. Ice 9? Originally, Ice-9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists. Wait. Hold up. So, this thing called Ice-9. Or is it water? Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be a liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So, you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and the structure are completely different. So, you're saying normal water and this Ice-9 are like that? Yep. She wasn't finished. Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? That's the right way to say that, correct? I hope so. For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it, and did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin that was en route to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Naturally, scientists worldwide wanted to research this new, crystallized form of glycerin and began asking for samples of the seed. A seed is, of course, a sample of the original crystallized substance. With the seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be a simple matter. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, nearby samples did as well. It didn't end there. After that day, all glycerin in the world began to crystallize naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin is cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like, how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating. Communicating in some way that we can't sense. Junpei. Here's the thing. From the little bit that we know of June, she seems a little odd, doesn't she? I mean, sure, she seems like a nice enough girl, you know, give her that, but she does seem a little weird, the whole, what she saw in the picture and how it was a little off the wall, and that story that she told us about the people that wrote those books, and all that, you know, it does seem a little weird. So I don't know if Junpei would be impressed or annoyed. I mean, if the Junpei that I'm currently thinking about would be impressed or annoyed. I guess I would say impressed, that at the very least, even if it was improbable, that at the very least it was interesting that she came up with this idea. Junpei was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story. And that's exactly it. Wow. That's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice-9? To his surprise, it was Santa and not June who answered. What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice-9. What happened, I mean? A lot like, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man, it'd be the end of the world. Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern. At any rate, we're not going to have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty darn quick. He was right. Junpei shivered. Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kinda at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. Seriously. I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I hate the cold. So, let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here. Santa stomped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him. Selfish, isn't he? Thought Junpei to himself. Still, Santa was right, and it was high time they got back to their search. The story of Ice 9 had him interested, but there'd be time to think about that once they'd gotten out of the freezer. Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed a search of the room. Okay, let's keep looking around. So dry ice, what are the properties of dry ice? Well, if it gets cold, or if it gets warm enough, it starts turning to gas. I'm not directly sure how that could be useful, but gas expands, so maybe that could be useful somehow? I'm not sure. I wonder if there's anything else in here of use. A frozen chicken. Interesting. Okay. I feel a little skeptical of how useful a frozen chicken could be, but maybe we could use it as, I mean, it would be hard, so maybe we could use it to break the ice. There's some frozen meat up there. Looks like pork. Huh? What's this? It looks like a tag or something. A chunk of pork with a piece of paper on it, or in it. Junpei, is there a slip of paper in the meat? I think that there's something written on here, but I can't read it like this. If we try and pull it out, it'll probably rip. You need to defrost that. Don't think we're going to be doing that in this room. Okay, so maybe we should hold on to it. So, we have a piece of frozen chicken, a chunk of pork, dry ice, and a knife. Everything's frozen in here. It doesn't look like there's anything else interesting. What is this? A sturdy rope. Okay. It's a rope. Well, we could use it to attach something to something else, I suppose. Anything else? There's so much stuff in here. Why don't we take some of it out, Junpei? Storage area. Okay. I don't think there's anything in here particularly useful. Okay, so we already took out the rope. No, I didn't mean to click that. So, let's take a look at the pipes. It's a thin pipe. What about the other ones? There's water dripping from this pipe. It looks like when the pipe burst, the water hit the doorknob and froze it in place. This water actually seems almost warm. That's suspicious. Could we defrost the meat with the warm water, maybe? No good. I can't hit it hard enough to break it. Maybe it just needs more of a shock, you know? More of a shock? Hey, Junpei. Didn't you find some dry ice earlier? Yeah? There's warm water coming out of that pipe. Warm water and dry ice. What do you think would happen if we put that stuff in a sealed container together? It would expand. Do we have a sealed container? Is the bag of dry ice the sealed container? That's not really sealed, is it? I don't think there's any sealed containers. Let's just see what happens. Kind of curious. I don't think this will do anything. Let's put the chunk of pork over there. See if that does anything. No, it doesn't. And that doesn't do anything. We don't have a sealed container. Maybe I'm missing something. Let's search this and see what they say. Dry ice? Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you seal it in something that's airtight? Explode? Yeah, didn't you do that in school? You should never underestimate the power of expanding gas. Which is definitely something true. Okay. So we need to find a sealed container. This water bottle. Okay, I didn't know that was a water bottle. It's kind of hard to see. It was very frosty. So let's combine the water bottle Oh boy, I'm seeing how many items we have. I'm worried about that inventory list I had. Don't worry, it'll be fine. So we combine these together. Why not? A water bottle. Oh, maybe we need to put the water in the bottle, then we can do it. Let's try that. There's warm water flowing from the pipe. Nope, nope. Are you not going to grab the warm water flowing from the pipe? Dang it. Okay. Can't use the chicken on the doorknob, can I? And it won't let me combine them, will it? Do I need to... I doubt it, but do I need to cut the dry ice out? Okay, didn't think so. I hope I'm not missing something else. It's gonna start clicking random things. That's what you do when you get confused in these games. Because you can't find stuff, you just start clicking everything. Is there anything else in here? Isn't anything else in here that looks useful? Okay. And they said that there's nothing special about those. We're just kind of in a freezer. There's not really anything interesting, I don't think. This thing is covering something. Oh, it's frozen solid. I can't flip it over. Oh, okay. Let's start off with putting the dry ice in the water bottle. That's what I tried. Okay, so apparently we had to go to the door next. But the dry ice is too big. So we cut it with a knife. We gotta figure out some way to make it smaller then, don't you, genius? So, did we have to wait until it would tell us that we could do it, or no? How do we make the dry ice smaller? That would be the logical solution to me, would be to cut the dry ice, but maybe we need to put the dry ice under the water? Whoop, not that. There's warm water flowing. Ugh. This is what kind of annoys me whenever you get some of these puzzles that are a little less straightforward than you would think they would be. Well, I'd hate to waste some more time, so let me look up the solution online. I won't look anything up but the solution. So sorry about this, guys, but I will be right back. Okay, back again. So, I kind of had the right idea going on. Kind of. What they wanted was something a little less orthodox than cutting the dry ice. Smashing it with the chicken. Alright, the dry ice is all in pieces now. Dry ice crumbled. And now we can combine it. I'm going to put these pieces of dry ice into the water bottle. Water bottle with dry ice in it. Okay, cool. So now if we take the water bottle and combine it with the water. Or not. Maybe we have to put it on the door. Never mind. There's ice surrounding the doorknob. Oh, here we go. Not yet, Junpei. We're not going to get the result we want unless you can hook that bottle to the doorknob somehow. It's got to explode right next to the ice on the doorknob. We need to figure out a way to attach the bottle to the doorknob. And I bet we can... Can we combine that rope with it, maybe? And let's just tie a rope on here. Water bottle bomb. Sounds like a good enough name to me. Okay. Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door. Junpei pulled out the water bottle filled with dry ice, let a good amount of water fall in, then quickly sealed it up tight. The makeshift bomb complete. He tied it to the doorknob as quickly as he could, managing the cold. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now? We just need to give it a little, tap. The bottle's already about to pop. If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go off all on its own. A small rock? A small rock. Junpei looked down at the floor. Scattered across it were pieces of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he crushed earlier. Alright, this ought to do the trick. He pulled his sleeve down over his hand to keep it from getting burned and grabbed the chunk of dry ice. It was a pretty good size. About as big as a pool ball. He figured it would be just about the right size. Alright guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere. Both Santa and June looked at him with new concern. Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius? There isn't really anywhere big enough. I bet if they lifted that one door in the floor, they could hide behind it. Yes, there is. Look. Right here. We can hide in there. Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar. See, we're already stuck somewhere. This almost seems like a worse idea, but okay. Come on, get inside quick. Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide, even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw. Alright, here it goes. 3, 4, 5. What? You're counting the wrong way. Oops. What? Are you an idiot? That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man. Sorry, dude. Alright, for real this time. You guys ready? Yes. Whenever you're ready. Just throw the dang thing. Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1. Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down into the cellar with Santa and June, just as... Boom! Junpei leapt out of the cellar and ran to the door. Junpei! The ice on the door, is it gone? Yeah, it's gone. The blast must have shattered it. I feel like they might have been able to achieve the same thing by, like, kicking it or hitting it with that giant chunk of meat. Yes, alright, let's see if it opens. Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. The door gave way easily, and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once. Hooray! We're out! June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor. Move! Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed. Ow! Dang it, hot, 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 hot! He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage. But where was Lotus? Uh-oh. It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest. Oh, welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys. With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked towards her. What were you doing? What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting. We were gonna die. Oh, yeah? But you didn't, so everything worked out alright, didn't it? What the heck? Just kidding. It might not look like it, but I really was worried. Don't give me that crap. I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything, not like a spatula or anything. So all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops? It was true that there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth. Fine. But there was one thing I have to ask you. What's that? You didn't close the door. Did you? What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too. She was right, and Junpei knew it. Without them, she'd be in very serious trouble. It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure. Unless there's some sort of, like, hidden rule that we haven't really thought about. Maybe. If Lotus had really wanted to kill them, all she had to do was bar the door from the outside. And she hadn't. Well, she hadn't done anything. The most she was guilty of was laziness, or negligence, not attempted murder. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize. Oh, well... I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you. Hmm? Oh, yes, well that's alright, as long as you understand. Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the girl complete, Santa swaggered back towards Junpei and Lotus. Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on your fat butt of yours while we were freezing to death. How rude. I was plenty busy. Yeah, how about you put all that energy into something besides being annoying? Let's go. Okay, well that was interesting. I didn't expect us to go into the freezer. I thought we were going to find a code. So I think what we're going to do next, just from our item list, we still have that chunk of pork. I bet we're going to put it on the grill, which actually sounds kind of good. But we'll get to that next time. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. I do find it really interesting that the morphogenic field theory was actually a real theory that was in place at a time. And I looked up just a little bit. I didn't want to get too much information other than what the game gave me. But it was a real theory at a time, and there was a period of time where it was considered at least somewhat plausible. Though now it's considered completely debunked. But I do like that the game does have basis on some real-life theories, which kind of makes the game easier to get into because it has a connection to real life, which is really cool. I like that a lot. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time for more 999, where we thaw this chunk of pork, see what's on the paper, and see if maybe that gives us the opportunity to go anywhere else. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!